Look at this, moving the bag out the way to show herself, blowing you kisses, right? That's how they get you, bro. Show you that affection. You know, make an old man feel young again. Trap you, like how Julie Ramina trapped David. Never give up for you. For those of you who don't know who that is, which I will talk about that, by the way, in a future video. What's that? Come over here and buy us food. We're hungry. What is this, like? Okay, he's up and ready to go.
Hi. So Maganda. So Maganda, what's your name?
What is that? So let's so what he said, right? He said so Maganda. Maganda in their language, Tagalog language, Filipino language, is like pretty beautiful, right? Something like that. So you can see that this girl, first of all, you know, you can see she's got a very tanned skin tone, you know, very brown skin tone compared to this one. And in the Filipino culture, you know, this is not considered desirable trait to have. Filipinos are very skin color focused.
Name? Wow. So Maganda. I'm Winston.
So Maganda, I'm Winston. Look at that. Look at that. You think you could do that in America, bro? That's why guys like going out to these countries, because you can get away with more. You can go up to a chick, you know, I wouldn't want to do that anyway, but you can go up to a chick and grab her hand and kiss her hand, you know. You'll get a slapping. A lot of chicks will slap you in the States for doing that.
Where are you from?
Burger. Sir, burger.
What's it?
Burger.
Look. This one out here, Sir Burger. I'm assuming she's saying buy me a burger, but you know, they tell you that they speak English out there in the Philippines, but a lot of the time their English is terrible. What do you mean, Sir Burger? Like, you know, you know, is that how you ask for a burger?
Why? But I'm interested in dates. Date. I said I'm interested in dating.
Dating?
Yeah.
That chick ain't interested in dating, bro. Look at the response. Look at the response. Look at that laugh. You know, that chick is not interested in dating unless you put the money up. You put the money up, then that's different. But, you know, the first putting the money up is getting them free burgers. That's what it's all about. Look at this guy.
Not in burger. Wow. Where do you work at? Where are you from? Where are you from?
But
Where are you from?
stay friendship.
Oh, you tourist here? Tourist?
She stay here. I stay
Oh, you
here.
live here? Do you work here? You work around here?
Yeah, work.
Where?
Working here, Club Asia.
Oh, in Club Asia.
Wow, you hear that? You hear that? I work in Club Asia. Okay? Club Asia. So I'm gonna say that Club Asia is one of them lady type bars, right? In fact, let me just check that out. I'm not gonna show it to you guys, but let me just check out this Club Asia. Yeah, just as I thought. They even got Instagram, bro. Just as I thought, is one of them lady bars. It's one of them lady bars. So you're dealing with a 304 here. You're dealing with not even a freelancer, a bar girl, essentially. You're dealing with a bar girl, Winston, and look what he's doing. Oh
So
my
beautiful.
god, he's
Wow.
kissing her hand. He hears that she works in a bar, and he kisses her hand again. Like, bro, like, you know what these chicks are doing? They're giving guys hand jobs, I mean. And you putting your lips on, oh my god, that's disgusting. I don't care if they wash it off. I don't care, man. I'm not putting my lips nowhere near any chick like that, bro. And that's the thing with these passport bros, like, this is what they're dealing with.
I feel crushed.
I feel
Yeah.
crushed.
Okay.
Look at that.
What's
Crash?
your name again?
Che.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
What kind of name
See
is
only.
that?
Crush guitar.
Look at that chick. Look at that chick. Look how that chick looks at him. Look. She looks at him like, I want you out of here. If you're not buying us a burger, get out of here. Look. Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. You see that?
Burger. We need
But I'm
burger.
not interested
Burger.
in food.
This chick, this freeloader chick right here. Burger, burger, burger. You know, begging you guys for food, man. That's how they are in the Philippines. They're beggars. It's a third world country. They're in desperate poverty. You gotta understand how poor the Philippines is. When people say I'm going to the Philippines is no richer than Africa, by the way. People think because it's in Asia, it's like as rich as Thailand. No, it's not as rich as Thailand or Malaysia. The Philippines is not even, it's well below the world average. It's not even like a top 100 country. I don't even think it's top 150. It might just creep in there. At best, it's a country people are living in desperate poverty, man. That's why it's so easy to get chicks. Why don't passport bros just say that? Yeah, I go to the Philippines because chicks are living in desperate poverty and it's easy for me to get chicks. Why passport bros have an issue with saying that? I don't understand. It's like, why are you trying to, and that's my thing. I don't care if you travel to the Philippines. I don't care if you travel to Timbuktu. But why are you sending out a false message to the people? That's my thing with the passport bro movement. That's the reason why you're going out there. You know, you wouldn't go to the Philippines if it was rich.
Interested in love, though.
Look at what he said. Look at what he said. Listen to this.
Interested in food. I'm interested in love.
I'm not interested in food. I'm interested in love, bro. Like, are you kidding me? What kind of love you gonna find from this chick? She's giving guys hand jobs and God knows what else. You know, what kind of love you gonna find from this 304?
Love. Wow. Kanda.
Dito na tayo.
Oh, you have number?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so I get it, right? These chicks are in desperate poverty that they can't afford a burger. Okay, they can't even afford a burger, and they're sharing a portion of fries at McDonald's. This is how they are. This is the country that you passport bros are telling you to go to. You know, these people are completely impoverished, and that's why you see guys, 70, 80-year-old men getting with Filipinas. You know, there's no country like it out there. There's no country that has that level of people. Even in Africa, there's no other country that has that level of young girls getting with older men. I'm not even talking about 40s or 50s. I'm talking about 60s and 70s, bro. Even Thailand is not like that. The Philippines is just crazy. Because why? Because it is a completely impoverished nation. You know, anytime you deal with these people, you're always gonna see them begging you. They're always begging you for stuff because they're so poor, and then they bring their family in. And these people are liars, man. They lie about, oh, my grandma is sick, give me some money. They'll, you know, my grandma is dead. They'll lie about their family members being dead as well. Like, this is what, but they'll do anything for a little bit of cash. They will do anything for a little bit of cash. Because that's how they're born and bred. That's how they're raised. You know, they're not raised to self-improve. I mean, I don't even think that exists in their culture. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, it's a very strange culture. But anyways, back to the passport bros, right? Back to the passport bros. We have to understand that these guys, like I said before, they go into this country because of how poor it is. The Philippines I'm referring to. They go into these countries because of how poor they are, because it's more than one country. Colombia is also a poor country. You know, it's actually quite poor. You know, and this is the reality. I mean, you know, when we talk about passport bros, and by the way, Winston Wu is the original passport bro. As far as I'm aware, okay, he is the first guy on the internet to push international dating. He's the first guy to do that. I don't know of any other guy that has pushed international dating before Winston. He's been doing it since the early 2000s. And yet and still, he has not found a relationship. Right? Winston has yet to find a relationship, okay, long term, after traveling for over 20 years. Furthermore, he has not found a permanent expat location or destination a permanent destination to expatriate to. He is still in America as far as the latest updates. He's still in the States. I'm thinking, bro, you've been aware of this for 20 years and you're still in the States. Why are you still in the States? You're in I think he's in his 50s now. He must be in his 50s now. Why are you still in the States, man? Why haven't you permanently left? And it's not just him, it's a lot of these guys. Because this is what they do. They go to these countries, and they go to these countries with the opposite gender on the mind. You know, that's what they do. They go to these countries with the opposite gender on the mind. They're not going to these countries really thinking about, how can I get myself in a situation where I can stay here long term? Most of these guys, a lot of them are YouTubers, a lot of them are, you know, they don't really have a sustainable source of income. And you might think, well, these countries are cheap. Well, they're cheap, but a lot of them aren't that cheap if you want to live a Western kind of life. First of all, and second of all, even if they're cheap, even if they're cheap, they're getting more expensive as time goes by, and you're not going to benefit from the salary increases that may occur because you're not getting paid a salary in these countries. So you're going to have to deal with that your own way. Don't go out to these countries like using it as an excuse. Oh, these countries are cheap, so I'm just gonna blow my money on some 304, some bar girls, some, you know, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, these passport bros are dealing with bar girls, but they push that traditionalist line. I'm looking for a traditional wife in the Philippines. You know, first of all, the Philippines is not even a traditional country. They don't even have a traditional culture. You know, look at the wedding. I had a full video of that the passport bro guy, the English guy who went to, you know, I need to upload that on another platform, the full version, unedited version, the documentary review. You can't really do documentary reviews on YouTube because they ban them. So, you know, I'm still thinking about starting a channel on another platform where I can upload my full videos and unedited and banned videos. But yeah, that guy went to the Philippines. He got married in the Philippines. The culture, the wedding was exactly the same as the West. It was exactly the same. They don't really have a traditional culture in the Philippines. What you mean is that they're domesticated, not traditional culture. There's not really a traditional culture in the Philippines. They don't really have one. You know, yes, they're domesticated because that's how they're raised. But that domestication, you know, it comes at a cost. And that's all they know how to do. These people are domestic helpers. Even in the Western world, what do they work as? Nurses, domestic helpers. You know, the mass majority of them have no real education or skills. And I'm talking about the ones that date foreigners. You know, so that's the thing. I mean, passport bros need to get real with the stuff that they're saying. You're dealing with the lowest of the low in these countries. Yeah, some of them might look decent, but look at the background that they're from. Passport bros are gonna fail. I've said this time and time again, that the passport bro movement, and following that movement, you are destined to fail in these countries. You know, we spoke about Daniel before. Daniel was another dude who, you know, never improved. And look, now he's stuck in the UK and finished, right? Because when he was in those countries and he had all the time in the world, he relied on what? YouTube. And what happened? His YouTube fell off and he had to leave. He had to go back to the Western world and play the fool, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, you want to stay out there in these countries, don't focus on the opposite gender, focus on the money that you need to stay out there long term. That's the thing. You think when I touch down in Southeast Asia, I'm looking for the opposite gender? No, I'm not. I'm looking for business opportunities. I'm looking for new sources of income. Why? Because I'm not going to Southeast Asia to slow down. You know, the rich man ain't doing that in the West. Let's say you touch down in these countries and you're so-called rich, right? Whatever that means. Is the rich man in the West slowing down because he's rich? No, he's accelerating. You have to. Things are getting vastly more expensive. The world is moving at such a rapid rate. You don't want to get bogged down and then end up having to run back home with your tail between your legs. And that's why I'm so against the passport bro movement, because it tells guys to go overseas and have opposite gender on the mind. That's the main reason why I'm against it. And in addition to the lies that they say when they try and tell you that, oh, you know, you're dealing with a traditional girl, when the truth is, let's be honest, Philippines and a lot of these countries, they're in desperate poverty. That's the reason why it's so easy to get chicks, you know, but they don't want to admit that. But when I touch down in Asia, bro, let me tell you something. You know, I'm going to put some videos as well on YouTube, and I'm going to talk about it. But the last thing I'm looking for is but now I understand it's tough. I understand there is an allure to the opposite gender. We are straight men here, right? We're straight men, right? So yes, there's an allure to the opposite gender. Yes, the opposite gender in these countries treat men better. Yeah, they treat men better than the West. Yeah, in many cases they might be more attractive than what you're getting in the West. Almost certainly you're getting better looking chicks in these countries than what you're getting in the West. Yes. But the goal is to leave the West. The goal isn't to, you know, go to these countries and then end up coming back. And then you're going to work in the West and then go out there again and then come back. No, that's a cycle, and that's a cycle of poverty too. So that's the thing. Guys just have to go out to these countries with the right mindset, and then they won't have these issues. It's on Roman here, the truth of man is fair. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you aren't already. Make sure that notification bell so you're informed every time I upload a new video.